Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is June 25th, 2021. This is episode 343. Vietnam Horror, number 4 in the series. This is coming out from Behemoth, and this is the conclusion of Vietnam Horror, actually. So on the cover here, we see this mother holding I'm assuming it's her dead child, but it could be actually just her dead husband. I'm not quite sure, but the head's kind of small. So I'm assuming the child, as everything kind of burns in the background, and we get like the communist flag up there. This has been a really stunning comic. It is a recommend. The ending was a little bit of a disappointment to me, but we'll go into that in a little bit. But other than that, obviously it's taken place in like 1968, right around there, and it's about a platoon that is having a lot of trouble in Vietnam, and they're staked out in this lagoon, and it's by this mountain, and there's just all these crazy things going on. So let's get into it. Talk about who worked on it. They really don't give you a lot of detail here. We have Massimo Rossi and Vito Coppolo. So, other than that, I don't know what they did. I'm assuming they're writing and drawing, but we'll see. Okay, the art in here is very spectacular. It's all black and white, but we get some really gruesome shots here. This thing is just horrific. I mean, they've had everything from abuse by the enemy, abuse by the Americans, just monsters, just crazy stuff going on and on through here. And what has happened? There's this platoon that is pinned down. They're losing it completely. Their whole camp's on fire, and the relief corps is coming in to help them. And all they do is find one survivor there. This guy that's Colt Jones, I think, or Colton Jones. And they pull him out of this flaming lagoon here where everything just keeps blowing up. The commander tells his people to go ahead and go ashore and find out what's going on here as they try to patch up Colton Jones. He's been in the whole thing throughout. He was actually in one of the Viet Cong tunnels trying to find out more things and came across a temple where strange things were happening there. And he was the lone survivor of the squad, so he came out of that, and he kind of does a little bit of a flashback as they go to investigate what is going on the shore there. And what they discover, to their horror, is it appears that all the remaining soldiers, had impaled themselves on these spikes with chains and whatnot, going throughout their body parts and whatnot, and they just can't believe it. They don't know what to do. So the basic plan is just to napalm the whole area. That they just figure it's a total loss. They don't know how to get these guys down, and things just keep getting crazier and crazier. So one of the guys comes back and says, "Captain, you got to see this." And they discovered this gigantic dead spider that was killed off in the last issue when one of the guys sacrificed himself. And they're just like, how do we explain this? And they go, I don't know if there's more of this stuff, but the eclipse is continuing to go on. It's gone on for hours. And as long as it goes on, it seems like these horrifying things just really keep getting ratcheted up. In the meantime, Colton Jones regains his consciousness and starts talking to the guys that are there on the ship and telling them what's going on and how he got pulled out of the tunnel, and only discovered that these hideous creatures were there. He had to kill them all and to escape. And just as he was escaping, the camp blew up, just kind of destroying everybody and whatnot. Just crazy stuff going on. There was another group that came in by boat to help them out. and they were sucked up into this melee as well. So just crazy stuff going on. He talks about how he had to bite some guy to get away, and then he was knocked into the river. This is where he saw the horrifying kind of jungle god come out as he kind of was sinking underwater here. So that's kind of really cool the way that this is drawing, and it's just amazing. So he's told by this jungle god, you've done all these things, and we're going to not let you come into our country, basically. And meanwhile, the more Colton becomes aware of his surroundings on this ship, and the more he thinks about the things that have happened, he decides he's got this knife that's kind of hidden in his bandages, and he pulls this knife out and he starts killing everybody, all his rescuers basically on the ship. So it just gets more horrifying as it goes along. And there was only one guy left, and again, suddenly the water just disappears in the lagoon. The boats are stranded, and it kind of knocks Colton over. It knocks the last remaining ship member over as Colton comes in to kill him. He thinks about it, and then Colton kills himself. So just crazy stuff goes on. Like I said, it was a little wacko. The last remaining guy tries to shoot himself, but this crazy jungle god or whatever causes his pistol just to disintegrate before he can get the shot off. Look at that. It's, horrifying stuff. So in the end, though, they blame the river comes back. They're able to get out of there, and basically the jungle god's telling him, you can blame yourself, your president, your nation, and your father. So it's one of these sins of your fathers type ending on here. So that was a little disappointing. I mean, if they would have used, I think, the industrial military complex as the real bad guy in this, I think that would have been a much stronger finish to this. But it was good throughout. It really did hold my attention. It was a page turner. It's got every element in a horror comic that you want, and great setting. The black and white, after a while, you just don't even see the black and white drawing. It's just your mind just fills in the color. So yes, this is a recommend. I don't know if I'm reviewing anything else by Behemoth, but boy, I really did enjoy this. And let me put the thing right up here. It does get the Indie Comics Jones Good Excavating seal of approval, given out only by Indie Comics Jones on this particular channel. So thanks for stopping by and listening to my review of Vietnam Horror #4. And we'll see you next time at the next review. And I've got more comics to review. So don't change this channel. Keep it on. This is Indie Comics Jones from the Temple of Tomes bidding you adieu.